How you doing? Welcome back to Feral Art. Let's paint. Okay, well, welcome back to the Ancient Appalachia series. Today we have about a ton of colors here. I'm gonna be going for a watery vibe. But first, we need to get our initial bloom done. So that is really thick. Yikes. Okay, really thick it is. Trying to use up some of these colors. Okay, I have a ton of colors here. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 colors. Water is variegated. So I've got them sort of in an order. We're gonna see how this goes. Just keep in mind, when you're pouring it out, what you want your ultimate look to be. I wanted this to be a little placid, so I didn't go for high contrast. All of my colors will be where, as usual, in my description box. I decided, when I was thinking about this, that I wanted a more sort of moody and, like I said, placid look to this water, but I did want some contrast too. So you'll notice that my light colors, at least in the beginning here, are not widely separated from my dark colors. That was by design. The black, I don't know, if I could go back and do it again, I might not use so much of the black. I might not use any of it, but I did. So we just go with the flow, kid, because that's what fluid art's all about. Ah, you say, finally the dingbat is putting down some white. Nope, the dingbat's putting down the pearl blue here. Why? Because pearl blue shows up best, and pearl anything shows up best on dark colors. So I'm sandwiching it between dark colors because why not? We'll come to some white later. But yeah, I'm just really trying to keep it subtle. I don't want some crazy, ultra foamy looking things. So I'm going with subtle colors and subtle contrast. See, I told you we'd get to some white colors. We've got, cloud mix, and here in a minute we're going to throw down some liquid mirror because I do want there to be light colors. I just didn't want it to be all through the colors. This will keep this more superficial, not as buried in between. See? Now for our CAs, I think I'm going to go with black and pearl blue. I'm nervous. We're going to do this with our little blower again today. I thought this would be a cool idea because the pearl blue will show up better on the black. And it won't be as solid as, say, a silver. I didn't want to use the white because then sometimes you get that weird gray thing going on, and I didn't want that. So I decided, hey, let's give a shot to some pearl blue and see what happens. So let's see what happens. Okay, now I'm going to stick this over here to percolate, clean up a little bit of a mess, and then we'll be back to get my other canvas ready. Okay, this is the usual suspect 16 by 20 canvas. We are just about to the end of our ancient paint here, so I am just going to do my best to go straight out of the can. Sorry. It's very rainy outside today. It's gross. Good weather if you're a duck, I suppose. We've got lots of flash flooding going on around us, so that's fun. Here we're just working on coverage, getting boogers out, looking for them, seeing where they are. This is just something that happens every time I paint. We'll see how this goes. My initial bloom is not very big today, mostly because it's thick. That pillow paint that I used on there is old and thick. So we're going to put some pillow on our spatula just to wet up the surface so that our bloom does not fold all over itself when we pick it up. I used the initial gray pillow to see if it would make it less transparent. It's probably not going to go very far today because it's a pretty small initial bloom, which could make it fun to spin out, not in the fun way. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put this in my right hand. I'm going to pick this up in my left hand. Which way do I want to go? I guess this way. Or that way, this way. So here we go. We're going to pick it up. And we're going to lay it down. Stretching, slowing down, shaking like we're 95. Yikes. And get rid of that. Anytime I am doing something that takes a lot of concentration, I often forget to breathe. Breathing is essential. All right, we're just going to move our paint around a little until I am somehow or another happy with it. Because this initial bloom was thick, it did not spread when I transferred it so much. So I'm just taking the time to spread it out a little bit so that when I spin it, it goes in more even ways. Some days it takes a lot of stretching. Some days it doesn't. Today, it does. Really, it's all just part and parcel of figuring out what you're doing. You know, if your initial bloom is thicker, it's going to take a little more spreading for me to be comfortable with what I have. It may not be for you. You may have a whole different way of doing things, and that's fine. But for me, I need to be comfortable with where my paint is at before I start to spin. So that's what we're doing here. Today is one of those days where my intuition is saying, wet up the outsides now. Why? Well, today my paint on my initial bloom was really thick. Pillow was really thick. Some of my paints were a little thick. And I was at the end of a gallon of pillow paint and didn't really want to open the next gallon, which is maybe stupid, but that's the way it goes around here. So I just kind of want to spread things out, get things dampened up a hair before we go nuts spinning. Okay. So we're starting off with a slow controlled spin because today I really wasn't sure what I was going to get because of the thick paint, the end of the gallon on the second pillow. So here we go. Well, speed it up just a little bit. I felt okay speeding this up because when I did that first slow controlled spin, it spun out pretty evenly, and that was good, so it made me feel more at home. Okay. Interesting. Looks like we need to get rid of a corner and 2 corners. Okay, let's go. Having to just get rid of the remnants of 2 corners, feeling pretty good about the rest of the painting. I just gave her a spin. That's all, literally all we needed to do was just finish moving the paint. It was nothing big. Okay. Well, we definitely have a watery vibe. It's not quite the vibe I was hoping for, but we got some rocks and pools, some foam, some plant life within our water. Let's spin it again. This is what I call my safety spin. Everything is pretty much where I want it to be. This is just to get off any excess paint that's hanging around. After this, we'll see. Reassess. Cool. Dark water, light water, convergence, divergence. Interesting. Let's take a measurement of where we're at. We are done. That is maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, something like that, tiny. And I am pleased. I am puzzled, but I'm pleased. This is very interesting. Duality. You know, sometimes it's funny how the things from everyday life can really open up in a painting, make you think. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up. We're gonna come in for a close-up. Okay, here are our wet results. I am very intrigued by this. Not because it gave me what I wanted, though. I'm intrigued by this because of the duality that it's showing me. You know, it's been said many times by me, by other people, paintings are mood rings. Whatever mood, whatever feelings that you're having will come out in your paintings. This one is such a dual look. We've got this dark, kind of deep area that has bubbles in it, and we have the light, bright, beautiful area. Very interesting. But it does have a watery vibe. I'm one of those people that can sit and look at water for hours. I find it comforting, and I like the sound, and I like the way it looks, and I like to watch it go over the rocks and just the movement of it. Or I can sit and look at an aquarium for hours, watch the fish swim around and the plants wave, and you know, just the sound of the water bubbling through the filter. very comforting to me. So water and I have a kind of a strange relationship in that I'm not a water sign. So there you go. Let's go look for sparklies. Okay, we do have liquid mirror. Yes, we do. It is so flippin' humid here today. I feel like we've just got humidity on our canvas. Now, remember I used the pearl blue CA with the black? There we go. Showing up quite nicely. We got a lot of sparklies. I did use the cloud mix in here because I wanted to get some of this kind of wispiness, and I really like it. And we've got the TLP in here. We've just got a lot of interesting stuff. I've got that cobalt metallic. Ooh, there's taffy. The metallic cobalt blue. I can't even begin to tell you all the colors I have in here because, like I said, there are a bunch of them. They are all in my description box. I do like the way that this came out. When I was blowing that initial bloom and I got that area of blue, I was like, oh no. But I'm glad I got it. And I love these. Just love these. I hope they grow a little more. They may not. But we've got a lot of pearl blue showing up in here. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all the different blue hues that I used and how they're showing up and how that cloud mix is just showing out. And here, of course, is our liquid mirror. Yep. And all of our different colors of blues and all of our effects and neato things. Subtle lacing. Very cool. I think they're having a roller rink party upstairs. But there we go. And you know what time it is. It is time for me to go live my life. Yippee. In the humidity and the flash flooding. And I'll see y'all when this is dry. Here are the dry results of my Water Vibes painting. I think it turned out pretty cool, and I just noticed as I was bringing it outside, if I back up a little bit, it could almost be like a waterscape of sky and land, but I like it better this way. We got some really cool effects, lots of boulder sails and lacing and just really cool stuff. I am really digging this liquid mirror in these, and also the cloud mix, which is sort of a non-bloomy kind of thing to do, but I really like it. I just think it gives it sort of an ethereal look. And yeah, I really think this one's cool. I hope you like it too. Do let me know in the comments. And thanks so much for coming to spend your valuable time with me this week. I sure do appreciate it. And before you go, make sure that subscribe button's pushed, the bell is rung so you know when I'm making new content. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. I always do. And until next week, I see ya. Bye-bye.